Some of the glory years of the Dolphins' defensive line this decade featured Zach playing alongside Christian Wilkins. Have you or Chris or anyone from the team reached out to Christian or his agent to see if he's healthy, see if there could be a possible fit, bring him in?
There's doors are always open. Very happy with the progression of what we need from our young guys, and I'm focused on the Panthers and our own guys specifically. But Chris is always at work, and there's never anything that's closed. But for me, I'm better suited for Panthers and our own player topics.
And on the defensive line, obviously you're trying to develop young players on the line and win at the same time. They're going to be growing pains naturally for rookie defensive linemen, but it obviously hasn't been good enough yet. Are you and Chris even close to the point of seeking outside help to augment your defensive line?
Well, I think that you're probably driven by the nature of some results. I think within the game, my motivation, my confidence in growth is simply by the fact that there was um, uh, uh, exact growth. Namely, there's 75 yards of rushing on the first drive. Then outside the scramble by Justin Fields, there was 75 yards given up rushing the rest of the game. So, like within the game, you see guys progressing, and realistically, it's like you bring new players in that aren't familiar with what you're asking them to do. It's like learning how to tie your shoes. Okay, young players. There's a point where they know exactly what to do. Like when you first learn how to tie your shoes, and you have like the little bunny ear saying in your head, and then there's some point where the reps occur where it just clicks, where you're not saying the saying anymore, and you're able to. That's what a player needs to do when you're playing 1 of 11 in convicted technique and fundamentals, and so the expectation is that it's not avoiding that. It's making sure that there is consistent growth from those players and that they're getting better, whether that be within a game or from week to week. The biggest thing that I talk to the players about is the month of October, and how you're set up to be distracted. So what happens is each and every year, September comes with a flurry of we haven't had football, and wow, this is what things. There's overreaction week 1 and week 2, all those things, and then you get into the first quarter of the season. The first quarter of the season's done. October hits, and teams either get better or they get worse. No in between. And what happens is there's absolutes that people, there's so many distractions, whether it's like I had expectation to have this many numbers going into this, or I thought I was going to be this, that, or the other, or when in reality it's about how what we learned from last game that we can apply this game. It's 1 week, 1 week seasons where you're trying to go 1-0, and anything that deviates from that focus, absolute certainties of, well, we played well. All players are up each and every week with the opportunity to showcase their skills and why they're here. And if you get caught up in, the first drive of last game, which is easy to do, you can drive yourself crazy with different realities. There's also within that what I see is growth, and we have to have an October that has better football in 3 phases than in September, if we stand a chance to do what we want to do. And that is the case for this team, but that's the case for every team each year. The month of October needs to stand on its own, and it needs to be above September, or you're not going to like the ultimate result.
One last thing on this topic. Is it fair to conclude, based on your answer, that you and Chris feel like you need to give it longer with this group of Sealer, obviously, he's a great player, Benito, Butler, and your three rookies as far as your defensive line? Does this group need more time before thinking about seeking outside help?
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not. I need to see the consistent development, which is what, again, I saw in the game. If there weren't, I'm not sure if you extrapolated 75 yards on the first possession, but extrapolate it, and that's what would have occurred. So I react to what the players show me on the field, and understanding that there's a concerted effort by them and the coaches to stay true to the mandate of the NFL to have any success, which is continued growth and improvement. I've seen the investment, the intent, and I know what comes after that. Everybody always wants it sooner, but at the same time, there's a pattern to all of this, and it's pretty consistent with the development of young players.
On that topic of growth and improvement, short yardage is something we've talked about a lot in the last couple of years. What would you say, with better results this year, has contributed to the improvement in short yardage situations?
Well, I think first and foremost, it starts with the execution of things that are focused on, throughout the off season, and I think specifically, I think Ollie Gordon and the work that Eric Stutesville has done to make sure he puts his best foot forward, I think that's helped. I think the work that Frank Smith and Butch Barry did in terms of trying to isolate the ways we wanted to try to earn yards in critical short yardage situations. I think that all of those things, and then just really a mindset of hey, this is, again, you can be, whatever the past has been is reality. You know that, and so is the present and what you do with that. So I think it's so far, the first quarter of the season, I thought that was one area where we knew that we had to improve, and we have, and the key is that you're going to get better from opponents that you need to beat, and otherwise they're going to get better, and your success won't be as high. So we got to keep stacking, but there's been a concerted effort by plenty, and it's been very important for us staying on the field and turning drives into points.
Mike, a Panther-related question. They're not expected to have their leading rusher.
I knew it was going to be you.
You knew.
That was the first one of the week, playing a game. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. So it's nice to field a question of something that's on my mind. Love it.
They're not expected to have their leading rusher, Hubbard, and they don't have another back on their roster with even 100 yards this season. How much do you think that will affect how they try to attack you?
Well, I think generally, you don't know someone's name until you know it. Hopefully, we're not overly familiar with anybody's name, because like the NFL is full of very capable talent that are a lot of times just thirsting for the opportunity to showcase their skills. So I think one thing I do know about the NFL is if you find success running the ball, you'll continue to run it. Just because of the cost benefit of trying to achieve yards, first downs, and points. So every week, regardless of who's active, they will try you, and it'll be up to you to be playing with 11 people, having connected technique and fundamentals. So 11 people are playing as one, and within that, you get 1 to 2 yard carries. You can force the hand, of the opponent and have them play on your terms. You can have more known passing situations, which helps pass rush and all of that. But you can't take it for granted because they will try each and every week, because every week people are trying to protect their quarterbacks. And part of quarterback protection is getting guys out of pass rush mode, which means the threat of the run always serves the purpose of the overall collective, which is why you always have to be on your P's and Q's and continue to develop.
Mike, I'm doing something on Butch Barry. I know about being a vegan, doing Pilates, the wide brim hat, the passion.
Wow.
What
Deep dive.
Yes.
I love it.
Tell me what do I need to know about Butch, if you can expound on that or tell me anything else.
So Butch is a great example of that. He epitomizes what I look for in a coach. Okay. And specifically with him, it comes in his own flavor, which I definitely appreciate. But what I mean by he epitomizes what a coach should be in the National Football League is it starts with the relationships. He earns their trust. You guys see him animated, and the reason why that animation continues to exist and players respond to it is because he earns it through relationships. There's no question in the players' minds in that room what motivates him, what his intent is. He is very connected to his players because they know with certainty how invested he is in them. Then from that, he's passionately trying to get guys to play to their best selves. So he is sweating a lot on the field. He is generally hoarse after practice. After a game, it's good that he doesn't have a post-game press conference because he would have no words left. He is coaching, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's becoming patterned behavior that guys are playing their best football under him. So can't say enough good things about him. I know I have to say good things about him because he's as humble as it comes, and I appreciate how he goes about his job each and every day he's in the football office.
You mentioned the relationships. That's what a lot of players mentioned, that we know that Butch cares about us. How does a coach get that across? Is it I guess how do you build those relationships?
So that's why it's so cool, is because it is a relentless day in, day out, no days off. You have to earn it, and you have to do it through meeting prep. You have to do it from finding different ways to say the same thing. He's very quick to retool his verbiage if he thinks that verbiage led to some sort of misinterpretation. That high accountability on himself, and then just relentlessly day in, day out. He doesn't every single day. He's putting on himself to rally that group. You earn that with sweat equity whether it's on the field or in the office. So all of those things, him and Lem and Rome, all three of those guys really, really invest in the players so they get the investment into their coaching right back at them in the healthiest way possible.
You've always been. Oh, I'm sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
Nice.
I like it. Thank you.
All
All right.
With Darren Waller, pardon me.
Oh, you choked up.
They're all choked up.
You get emotional
Very
there.
nice gesture.
Yeah.
With Darren Waller, how did his body respond to his first game in more than a year? Would be one. Number two, or is the plan as of now still to have him on a pitch count? And does Tyreek's absence perhaps affect that at all?
Well, I think no news is good news. It was a very clean game for him, and I think that speaks to all of the people involved and our training staff, giving me the right information, not necessarily the information that I'd want to hear all the time. but doing right by him. And I think we had a good approach where he was involved in the game, but you're trying to make sure that process stays consistent. You're juggling the variables that the defense presents, and how he can best be a part of the plan, but try not to overuse them and utilize our good football players at various positions as well. So I would say that it's not going to go 0 to 60. That would kind of be contrary to the whole process in general. But I think he earned an op or two more. Don't you guys think? Cool.
You've always been a creative play caller. Is there a need to be even more creative without Tyreek in terms of going into your bag of tricks?
No, I think we have a lot of capable football players that I'm very confident in. I think when you lose players of that magnitude, it's never done with one human being. It's the execution of the overall group at all positions that make up the difference. And I have a bunch of motivated football players that Tyreek was in the building today. That he came in the team meeting and made sure that the guys were continuing to stay motivated to have complementary football with 11 players playing as one in 3 phases over the course of the game, and that's how you offset those things.
Was there a need to have that type of conversation of concentrating on the collective effort and not just the one guy taking over?
I would say no. Seeing there are unintended consequences of things, and where there's adversity, there's opportunity. I think that's kind of our speed. That you find that cadence when you don't start the season the way you want it. So you end up, what do you focus on if you want your football to get better? Which I result aside, I think it is improving and needs to continue to improve. But when you do see that, that's a result of people focusing on their jobs and executing their jobs as they're connected with each other. So for this team, I would say I didn't necessarily have to kick the door in and say that just when the week started, because we've kind of come into a pattern of how we've gone about business and our standard, and that's kind of what normally occurs when seasons don't start out the way that you'd like.
Where is Storm in his recovery process besides South Florida, obviously?
He's progressing. We won't see him obviously this week, but I'm happy with that he's progressing, and I would say that would be in a week to week timeline as it is moving forward.
Is there anything else you can tell us about Tyreek's visit? Did he actually address the whole team? What was the reaction from teammates to, I'm sure they were happy to see him.
It was awesome. It was a real moment where I was I knew the time that he'd probably be in the building, and thankfully I'm good on my toes because it was right during the team meeting, so he made an entrance that I hadn't given the team a heads up to, I'm pretty sure the energy of the team meeting was pretty good, but it definitely gave it an uptick, and he was eager to let his teammates know that he missed them, and I was eager to tell his teammates that even Tyreek misses these team meetings. You guys are lucky, and it was a really good moment for guys that spend their waking lives together, and something that was really cool to see for Tyreek and for the team.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.